Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Wednesday the 3rd of July. So the euro dollar, starting with the euro dollar, and well, we saw a continued sell-off in the end yesterday. It did manage to put in a rally back above that trend line that's been there. I've left it on purpose because often we see a test of the trend and then it continues back into direction it was running. My belief is for some time has been the euro's weak, and well, it's proven itself again at the moment. Where to from today? Well, it's difficult at the moment because it's not moving necessarily massive points movements. It's quite thin on the ground in terms of point movements, but technically, just looking lower highs, lower lows, it looks like it could continue the roll, although from a weekly perspective on the pivots here, it's pretty much done its range, so maybe just be stifled a little bit there. Now you see yesterday's price action, it pushed up into the morning there as expected. Did turn around, but it took a little while. It didn't, as I said, didn't give a lot of points out of this whole movement there. Looking weak. Consolidation in a downward trend looks weak. Could continue down to well, just continue sliding down, but not clear how much there because of the news out on Friday, Non-Farms coming Friday, and of course ADP's today, so it may affect it. The pound, further weakness, and another kick in the teeth from the Bank of England Governor Carney, who's now admitted that there may be a need for an interest rate decrease, reduction in other words, that's the real term, as opposed to the increases he's been hinting at for some time. And well, as I've scored and been scoring the pound, it's been weaker and weaker. And in fact, from the strongest to the weakest, as I said in the big picture, it has now become the weakest currency out there in terms of the sentiment on it. Is as weak as it can get. The change over the 3 months where it's been dropping and dropping, and the economic strength, it's dropped from a sort of second strongest to the fourth, and it's sliding down there quickly. It could be getting worse from that point of view. So where to with a pound? I almost need to come out to the weeklies here to sort of push in to where it can go. I don't think it will necessarily. Well, it could do. I mean, it's threatening the lows here. We could get back to those December lows at some point from 2018. Last seen 2018 with that spike. It could be coming back down towards that point. We're certainly looking like it's in a bit of free fall at the moment. In terms of trading it, I've been looking for a retrace. Yesterday it consolidated. Yesterday it consolidated for a while. Let's get onto a 60-minute chart. It's a lot easier to see. Yesterday it consolidated for quite a while. It did manage to pick up through that from the sort of mid-morning session through, but then when Carnage spoke, that was it. Off it went, and sold off quite strongly, as did some of the other markets there. Looking for retracements to sell into, really. Missed that one personally. But to be fair, I've been watching the movement up until that point. You would expect it to come back towards that daily pivot. So, but certainly out of it for myself. But I just again waiting for retracements in the pound at the moment to sell. Dollar yen, for those people that were in the trading day trading room on Monday, well, it's hit at least first and second targets I was looking at there. If you can hold some on, I think, well, at the rate it's going, we could see the prior lows, certainly that 107.16, so should at least taken 40 pips out of the trade for the day traders, maybe 60 if you've got it down to the weekly. But there may be more to come there. So and technically what we're looking at here, bearish pivot swing, follow through yesterday, today rather, so far. So looking weak. It's just sitting around that weekly pivot at the moment. Where to from here? Whether consolidate, it may get a bit more consolidation and then take another step, but here we go. It does have weekly pivots and things above. I think where it is already down to its S1 at this time. There's just that sort of consolidation, and it may just continue rolling down towards the 20% trade, as I call it, down to that S2 for today. But we'll see. It may just stifle a little bit. Aussie dollar. I should mention Aldo in dispatches here, just purely because every time he mentioned our trade was starting to move in the right direction, it went against us. And as I said yesterday, you should never be looking at some of these trades until you hear the ping on your systems to say they've hit their targets. Right, Aussie dollar. So there you go, Aldo. Aussie dollar, it did take a bit of a bounce off the monthly pivot there. Quite a key figure to be on there, where it's consolidating and holding, whereas the European currencies are selling off. This looks like, if anything, it may be pushing up at some point towards the R1. I was looking at it yesterday and wondering whether it roll over, trend across the lows there. Well, there is still the potential. It's got daily pivot untouched below, which may draw it. But at the moment it seems that the Aussie and the commodity currencies are doing better. Well, the Canadian dollar certainly improved slightly again yesterday, taking back what he'd given back, or taking most of what was given back the previous day on Monday there, coming back south. Breaking my trend line just, but see how it's slowing down again now. We get a lot of this sort of with the Canadian dollar at times, just slow old intraday type movement, which is can be a bit of a nasty one. People just see what looks like a nice little setup and it just doesn't occur in the end. It just sort of chops, and there's plenty of signs of that lately. So as I say, for me it's a swing trading currency more so as opposed to a day trading currency, because of those big intraday switches. So for now, really, maybe if it starts breaking down, if you're not into short positions, wanting to get into a short position, it may still have further downside. There is that draw of the monthly pivot above, but overall it is one of the stronger pairings out there at the moment. Right, S&Ps, well, they managed to push back up yesterday. It looked like at one stage it wasn't going to do it. Again, a consolidation for quite a while. We saw consolidation right the way through, and then we saw the surge coming through there. It's not the most convincing. The surge came in towards the end of trading, but very, very choppy again intraday at points, not really doing too much. Difficult I think for some traders to be reading at the moment, but daily pivot below, which could provide a bit of support around those sort of areas, maybe just run through that a little bit back into the prior highs there. But my bigger picture view is that we may see continued upside on the S&Ps, but a lot of that is dependent on the Chinese US deals. Right, okay, news-wise today we've got services PMI out in the UK today, and non-manufacturing PMI in the US, so that's at 9:30 and 3 PM respectively. That's about it. Non-farms, ADP non-farms at 1:15. Just be wary of that. Last time there was quite a shocker, and it did give a bit of volatility, but the big one of course is on Friday. Have a good one. Bye for now.